Hello, and welcome to another update video about Bitcoin. Yeah, we only want to talk about the shorter time frame in this chart on this chart. And yeah, the decline is still ongoing, so the situation hasn't really changed since yesterday. The price is still in a support area where the price could attempt to form a low, but none of our signal levels to the upside has been broken, and therefore the downtrend is still intact as we are, let's say, waiting for another New York session to start. And yeah, as I said, the downside pressure is still alive. So overall, the wave counts haven't changed. What I can say, however, on the micro level, that one more low that has formed makes a more bearish interpretation more likely. While I'm actually talking here, we already see quite a strong decline. Again, well, yesterday we had one already, so it's not really anything new. It's just continuation of what already started. But there is quite a lot of downside pressure here ahead of the New York session. And it's just important to be aware of the pivots. So whenever we have a scenario like this where we have a possible 5-wave move up, we obviously can watch for a possible reaction in a support area. But as I explained yesterday, these are more areas where the market will reveal its intentions. They are not like areas where the price has to turn around, especially if there is a compelling short-term bearish scenario, as we have it in the white scenario, where the market could easily move down to round about 85k in the white wave 4, or let's say wave C of 4. And we could have started that wave C up there around the 7th of January. Yeah, 7th, yeah, with that swing high. And we're now moving down in this C wave, right? The question is just how exactly is this structure unfolding to the downside, right? So at the moment, it looks more like a downside impulse. Now, I'm still showing it as an ABC structure because we're still holding above support, but I can tell you that it does count quite well as a 5-wave move to the downside, which means technically the white scenario has become more likely. But for now, we just need to see, first of all, a bit of a bounce. We need some more structure. I mean, the decline, it's clear, the downtrend is still unfolding. So there's not really anything new in terms of structure. But it's important to be aware that a break below 93,650, and we might go that way, will already make a more bullish interpretation less likely. So that we've already bottomed in this larger wave 4 correction, right? So this larger wave 4, which might still be unfolding, could have already bottomed here. We talked about that. And due to the 5-wave move up, we considered this option. But then we need a reaction ideally before the price breaks and sustains below 93,650. Any break below it, will not formally invalidate this scenario, but it will make it more likely. And below the red line, I mean, that's the invalidation line, and it's located at around 91,400. So just be aware of that. Downtrend still unfolding. The 5-wave move down makes the white scenario more likely, which might change a little bit depending on how far down we go. For now, I would actually like to see at least a corrective bounce somewhere from here. It hasn't started yet. Crypto today quite weak, even though the S&P chart actually recovered overnight. Bitcoin hasn't really done that. So again, they're not really moving in line, because some people suggested that this sell-off was because of the S&P or something. But the S&P has moved up overnight. Bitcoin hasn't, so they're not correlating exactly. And yeah, we just need to wait for a first reaction. I mean, this is a catching the falling knife situation. You don't necessarily want to be aggressive in terms of long trades until there is a bit of a reaction or a 1-2 setup to the upside. Now, I'm not telling you, this is up to you, but from an Elliott Wave point of view, we would normally want to wait for a reaction in support, because these support areas, as I said, especially if there is a compelling bearish case as well, there's no guarantee there is a reaction to these support areas, right? Especially there has been no reaction really. So that, again, all these are signals that tell us that the white count has become more likely, but we need a break below support and a break below the red line, obviously, to rule out the yellow reversal signal to the upside, or reversal setup to the upside. But But for now, the trend is still down, and if we zoom into the detail, it now would take minimally a break above the green line at $97,300, which is the swing high that occurred overnight, to suggest that a low of sorts is in place. The trend is down now locally, and we're just waiting for a first reversal signal. I mean, you could even draw a trend line here and say that I want to see a break above this trend line, which obviously hasn't occurred yet. That would be maybe the earliest signal, but a very, very early signal, yeah. And maybe to conclude this, a final look at the daily chart so that you get a good idea of the overall chart context. And here you can see this correction, yeah. Here you see this correction and this potential C wave down. So overall, the chart context hasn't changed at all. The question is just, has this wave 4 already bottomed on the 30th of December, or are we still in the wave 4? Now, technically speaking, this could even turn into a triangle. I don't really consider a triangle, but we don't want to completely rule it out. Okay, so that's possible. We might go that way if there is additional evidence, but triangles should never be considered, let's say, the most likely scenario. Therefore, we are not showing it yet, but there are other patterns that I'm watching in the background, but they would really only be unpacked, you know, when the chart makes this necessary. For now, parameters have not changed at all. Next support is still located here at 93,650, and we're approaching this. So the price is still moving quite fast, as I said, making a bearish scenario more likely, but essentially support isn't broken yet. So we just want to, we're just basically waiting for a first reaction to see if there is a chance the market is reversing to the upside, because if the reaction is corrective in nature, then yeah, it would confirm further the white scenario. If the reaction to the upside is impulsive, yellow has a chance, but there is no reaction at this stage while recording this video. And at the moment, all options remain on the table, okay? That is something to be aware of, but at the same time, the local trend is still down. So that is my view. Trend is down, but waiting for a signal like a break above a trend line, like a break above the green line. And I mean, what often happens is these movements to the downside, they scare people off, right? We might have a brief break of support and then a rapid recovery. And that is sometimes what surprises people, but bear in mind that support, even if the price gives us a wick below and we have a recovery and it's just a wick, okay, so poorly drawn, but if it's just a wick and we have a rapid recovery, I mean, the buyers then turned up here. So this is not technically a break of support, because actually the buyers turned up around the 78.6 retracement. And the invalidation point, though, that's more important from an Elliott Wave point of view in terms of invalidating a pattern. Well, we're not there yet. So that's the update about Bitcoin. Hope you liked the update. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment and subscribe. And if you really like the content, then please check out the channel membership. Also, make sure that you follow us on Instagram and Twitter for additional content. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye-bye.